DBSCG things.
What is up, Yuhp gang? It's your boy Taxon, and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG Things. Today I got another exciting deck profile to go over with you guys. This is going to be an undefeated from our leader draft weekend at our locals. This is going to be Toppo Lock. But before we get into the deck, guys, I do want to say if you want any custom mats and or sleeves, absolutely check out Pro Mats, guys. The best place to go get your custom card needs. Link will be in the description below for you guys to go check them out. Now, also on the screen now you can see that Pro Mats is doing a monthly tournament thing on a Discord. So absolutely there will be a link in the description below for you guys to go check this out. There is awesome ways to win TCG Metal Leaders, some playmats and things like that. So yes, hit the link, go to the Discord, and get more information on this, guys. This is a cool tournament thing that you can enter. And with that being said, guys, if you like this deck profile or my content in general, absolutely consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, guys. And with that being said, let me turn this camera around and show you the deck. Alrighty, you guys, so here we are with another undefeated from our leader draft week. This is Toppo. Alrighty, man, go ahead and show us what's in your deck and then go over your matchups.
Alright, let's talk a little bit about what the leader does, if you don't already know. Front side's pretty straightforward. Attack, draw a card, and when you're at either 4 or less, or if you have a unison with specified cost 2, you get to awaken it in stand 2. This is where this guy really shines. When he attacks, draw a card, but really it's the permanent that we're going to talk a lot about. Whenever you have a yellow unison with specified cost 2 in play, players can only play 1 battle card a turn. So we're gonna make a lot of use out of that skill in this. We're gonna start with the unisons. We have 4 of the Vegeta Unison of Fury. That is pretty much the card that is designed for the deck. Minus that, once per turn, you can choose a battle card and rest it to give him a marker. -1, your opponent cannot attack with any battle cards with energy cost greater than the number of energy that they control. This came really in handy against like the Toa matchup where he was just playing out all of these big drops with Fuse, and Miras just couldn't attack with him because he couldn't do anything. Then the -3 is a strong finisher. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's energy, exhaust it, plus 5k, double strike, and dual attack for the turn. The other is the Super Saiyan Gogeta Dynamic Fusion. This card's actually really, really insane into this deck because you're going to have a tendency to tap out a lot in order to stop your opponent's plays. So whenever your energy is entirely exhausted, your leader immediately becomes a 20k. And whenever your opponent activates an extra card, you get to add a marker to him once per turn. His +1, discard up to 2 yellow cards and draw 2 cards. And his -4 you only allow your opponent to switch 2 energy to active mode on their turn. Really came in handy against apes today.
Wow, that is a crazy effect. That's sweet.
Yep. So those are your two drop unisons that will allow you to early awaken. We're gonna get into the most beautiful Zamasu the Eliminator. Is insane. This card really kind of explains what this deck wants to do. Energy, you negate the energy exhaust if you have a blue-yellow multicolor in your energy area. Plus the counterplay, if the battle card being played is 4 or less, bounce it back to their hand, and then you get to rest something and draw a card. Every single mode in this came into play in every single matchup. This card is fantastic. If you are playing blue-yellow, you absolutely need to be playing 4 of these. Next up is 2 Beerus Fickle God. This guy, he's really only in there for his ability to be able to be played unrested in your energy if you have a blue-yellow. I played him once. I actually played him out once, which allowed me to put a little extra pressure, and it gave me an additional card. So he's pretty good for the deck in the sense that you're just playing him untapped in your energy. Next up, we have 2 of the Saiyan Instinct, or Draw Apes, because of the fact that this deck has a tendency to use up its hand very easily. Sometimes you just need to use that 2 energy to just get a little extra draw, especially when you're only playing 1 battle card a turn, and making sure that your opponent is doing the same as well. Just being able to keep extra cards in your hand is really strong. Next up, I'm playing 2 Bardock the Enlightened. He's okay. I found myself charging him a lot. When you switch one of your opponent's battle cards into rest mode, you get to draw a card. You're going to do that a lot through cards like Zamasu and some other cards throughout the deck. So he's nice to just get you a little bit of extra draw power, but a lot of the time I just found myself charging him. Not sure what really to replace him with, but he was real strong for the purpose of just getting an extra card or 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, because of the fact that your opponents can only play 1 battle card a turn, we're playing 4 Vegeta Prideful Transformation. This card is insane, especially in a matchup where your opponent is only allowed to play 1 battle card a turn, and the fact that he has blocker, and because you're so in to the fact that you are playing around unisons with 2 specified cost. This guy is almost always a free play. Makes your opponent's thing come in rested, and it's the only battle card that they can play that turn, so this guy is really, really important in a deck like this. Speaking of more counterplays, the Steadfast Assistance. This card is crazy. Costs less for the number of extra cards in either your drop or battlefield or energy. So pretty much you're going to consistently cast him for 1, and he's just going to make something come in rested, and you're going to draw a card off of him. Plus the fact that he is also a blocker, just really strong in playing on your opponent's turn.
It's going to be 35.
Next up, we're playing 2 Frieza Robotic Riposte. I think this deck could arguably move up to 3 of these. The card comes in handy a lot, especially when you're making it so that your opponent can't play as many cards, so they have less things for them to rest, so they're not able to put commit any small battle cards to the board in order to rest, in order to attack. So this is just going to control the board completely.
This could easily be the card that you bump up by cutting out that Bardock card.
Yeah, easily, 100%. Next, we have 1 cooler, Swift Retaliation. Counter. Didn't really have a need for it today. Didn't really see much of it today in my matchups. But this card is just really strong, especially if you're worried about your opponent countering things. Next, we're going to get more into the blue-yellow. We'll start with Vegeta and Kaba Lessons Learned. This card is fantastic. Arrival blue-yellow. When it comes down, you're going to bottom deck one of their battle cards, 4 or less. And with them only being able to have so many battle cards out, this card is insane. You're just taking the 1 battle card that they have and just getting rid of it automatically.
And being that it targets a rest moded card, all your counterplays are resting these cards. So the moment that you get into a battle phase, you're just going to arrival this out and bottom deck.
And usually this is one of the cards you're going to be playing on your turn rather than on your opponent's turn, because the fact that you're immediately bottom decking something that you got your 1 play on your turn, so you're just going to attack, and this is how you're going to utilize your turn, is playing stuff like this.
All right, and I did see you actually utilize him for your Unisons effect. I seen you swing with him. His dual attack was triggered. He stood up, and then you just tapped him down again to use your leader effect. That was Unison effect. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. More than one reason for the dual attack. The next one seems kind of counterproductive, but this card's actually pretty cool. Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. This card is actually really interesting. When you play him, you get to make 4 tokens, which does seem counterproductive when you're not really able to play any other battle cards due to the leader skill. But when your opponent is going to be attacking your unisons down heavily, and if you ever have a turn that you're just not going to be able to play a unison, you can easily drop this down and just make 4 blockers, and then just have this double strike that lets you unrest energy at the end of your turn.
Absolutely, and also that's just a great way to go for game.
Mm-hmm.
You could use the minus effect on one of your unisons, kill it off, and then just drop that card.
Also the fact, then you can easily play this and then play your unison, and then if you're playing the Vegeta, you can use the token to tap down to add a marker onto him.
Nice.
Next up, 4-drop Toppo. This guy is really awesome. A lot of huge wall attacks, but all of it's relevant. If your leader is a yellow Universe 7, when you play him, you get to go find the Vegeta Unison of Fury and just put him onto the battlefield with 3 markers. So immediately turns back on your Toppo skill. If you already have one, you can just give him +10 and double strike, making him a 30k double strike critical. And once per turn, if you decide to put him into rest mode using your using that Vegeta skill, he will restand himself and make all of your opponent's cards lose their skills for the turn.
Wow. That is pretty good.
So turns off blockers and really just is there to push for game. And if you're not seeing your Unison and you absolutely need to slow your opponent down, this guy's the way to do it.
That's crazy. I like that card.
Card is really sweet. Next, we're gonna get into the super combos. We're gonna play two Zamasu, the 2-2 split, 2 Zamasu, 2 Krillin. Don't really have much to say about this. This card's really strong in making sure you get your arrival and tapping something down. I've used it multiple times to tap down leaders so they're not drawing any additional cards, stuff like that. And of course, Krillin doing a great job at making sure my hand is nice and full.
You said stop your opponent from drawing cards, you draw cards.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So now we're gonna get more into the strong finish. We have 4 Super Saiyan 2 Kefla lightning speeds. This card is crazy. Arrival for 3.
Damn, it's good looking.
And the SPRs are just gorgeous. When she's played, you get to bottom deck something, ignoring barrier. And if your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can discard a card to give her dual attack. If it is another version of herself, you get to draw a card and bottom deck another card. Swinging multiple times with a...
Draw a card and tap a card.
Yep.
So you get to tap your opponent's energy with that.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. This card is just everything it needs to be. Just real strong to finish up a game.
Absolutely.
And if that's not doing it for you...
Dueling foos.
Dueling foos. Reason for 2 of them. Sometimes they're just in your life and you really need to see them. This card is... It finishes a match off. You play them, and it makes your opponent really have to think
and your
about
opponent will not be able to play nothing all game, so you're definitely going to see turn 6.
You're almost always going to see turn 6, so it's not hard to really end up getting Fu off here. Again, you pretty much drop this, and you're just going to go for the game.
Absolutely.
Next.
And it lasts till next turn.
And it lasts till the end of their next turn. It lasts
till for their whole next turn. So anything they play next turn is just going to have no skills, or it won't be able to come into play because it gets played with a skill. So that's pretty sweet.
Exactly. And they'll only get to play one anyway. Pan. She's game ending. She's gonna stop your opponents from having massive swings if they're able to get past everything, and then. Worst case scenario, if you absolutely need to and your opponent has something disgusting, you just take it.
Hatch and Heroines?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that card's so good. It's good and good looking.
Good and good looking. So we're going to get into the extra cards. We're playing 2 Frost's Deadly Poison. This card's actually really interesting and has a lot of utility purpose. Just like Vegeta, it's going to make your opponent's stuff come in tapped. Then you get to draw a card, and if your life's at 3 or less, you get to restand an energy.
And it comes in skill negated.
Yes.
That's huge. So any on-play effects will
So any major on-play effects, you just pay 3 and just say, no, you don't get that.
That is crazy good.
Next up, we have 3 Time Magics. Negate, stop stuff from restanding. This card really, really, really helped against apes, especially. Just being able to be like, okay, we're going to negate the attack, and you're not going to get to be able to restand your blocker.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Not many of them are dual attacks, so I was wondering what that really stopped. But yeah, they all stand because of Planet Vegeta, so
yes.
You get to lock those blockers. That's sweet.
Yep. It's really there for, like you were saying, it locks any dual attacker from being able to do anything. When I was playtesting this deck a lot, I was playing a lot against Mono Red Vegito, and this stopped any of his dual attack or multi-attack shenanigans that he would end up trying to pull off.
Absolutely. Still a good card.
Still
Not
a
many
great
people
card.
run it still, but still a good card.
3 Forbidden Power. This card is actually really interesting because I found I wasn't using the counterattack as much as I was using the Activate Battle.
Gotcha.
The counterattack is really strong, just that Flood negate, but you're not really worried too much about a Flood. What you're really worrying about is 2 or 3 major big battle cards attacking, and that's where that Activate Battle comes in. If your leader's yellow and it's your turn, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and switch it to Rets mode, and gives your thing plus 10k. So you're pushing in, you're stopping any blockers from being able to stop you, you're getting things out of your way, and you're just going for it.
Absolutely. You can also use it as a really good defensive tool as well. Stopping the one card that they played, and let's say they decided to swing at their leader first to get a draw.
Boom, you're just going to be like,
and
cool.
That card's just
nothing.
that to rest mode. Ignoring barrier.
Ignoring
You
barrier.
thought you were safe, but no.
No, never safe. And finally, Frieza's Army reinforcements. You're not really worried about self-awakening because you're usually trying to awaken on 2 with those unisons. But this card just being able to stop 2 attacks when your opponent already has very few things.
Absolutely.
Just
this is what's going to save that unison for sure.
Also be very careful with this because of the fact that it does play out a card, you do have to watch out that you're not going to be able to do any shenanigans with any counterplays that turn. So you're probably going to use this on a turn more so when you're going to use a Deadly Poison.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Alrighty, so that looks like that rounds off the deck. Anything you want to say about your matchups today?
First, I ended up getting the bye first round, which ended up just kind of sucking because I was really excited to play this because I put a lot of work into it. But match 2, I played against Toa actually, with the Mira stuff in it. It was so close. We ended up going to time, and it ended up happening right on the 5th turn. Just awesome game. Last matchup was against Apes. Gotank's Apes, which, Apes is just one of those decks that it's scary. Luckily, his ability to stop him from being able to play multiple Apes a turn is just so bone-crushing. There was a point where he ended up playing out, and it was like, nope, he couldn't evolve because of the fact that he wasn't able to play anything else.
And they all don't have any protection, so every single one of your resting counterplays are definitely going to hit it.
Yep.
So
none of them have deflect, which is so. This card isn't this. I think this leader is is undervalued, but I think he's got a lot of potential still to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, man, do you have any shout-outs or anything today?
No shout-outs. Just a lot of shout-outs to my opponents, who I had a lot of fun today.
All right, man, cool. Well, I will shout out the leader draft week because that was a lot of fun. I got to play Red Hit, and I got trashed. So with that being said, guys, this was the deck. If you liked this deck or my content in general, absolutely consider hitting that like button, the notification bell, and the subscribe button. So, yeah, we'll see you next week. Deuces.